Good morning everybody, welcome back to another episode of Queensland Abandoned Mines, and today we are at Mt Perry. Way out in the bush northwest of actually Mt Perry Township, or north of Mt Perry. And we're on the hunt for 4 or 5 abandoned mines deep in the state forest. So we've been out this way a few times, but we've never ventured into this forest. So Mt Perry's got some really cool origin stories. I think the first precious metals were found in around about 1869, but what makes it really cool is the origin stories. So I always try and find out how they actually first discovered the minerals. We know when we first started hunting for these abandoned mines, we're on the lookout and researching and mapping out the old coal mines of Begowan and Howard and Torben Lee. And they found a coal seam in the creek at like an ultra low tide, and then started using a horse and whim to bore into the ground to look for where the seam ran. But out this way, I think Mt Perry was settled in 1840 more as a cattle ranch, sheep station. But there's 2 stories. I believe one involves Henry Dingle, not too sure who the other fella is. But one of the stories of the origins of copper discoveries, or just precious metal discoveries, was that someone was using galena or high grade as a doorstop, and a scholared traveller came through the town of Mt Perry in the late 1860s and spotted the doorstop and identified it as high grade ore, and then started quizzing the owner of the home as to the whereabouts of it. But the coolest story, I believe, was Henry Dingle himself, which apparently he was riding a horse at night and had a massive stack, fell off, and under the luminance of the moonlight he spotted the mineral deposits in a rock nearby, which the following day led to the discovery of a mineral outcropping, and then shortly after led to the discovery of all the mineral deposits at Mt Perry, which predominantly back in the day was copper. But where we're heading today is on the trail for the remnants of some old gold mines, which are pre-1900s, so should be pretty cool if we find it. So I think we've got about a 3k trek in and about a 3k trek back, so we're hoping it's not a bust. It's already a pretty walk. Alright, still on the hunt. I think we're within a k of the mines, and I'll tell you what, I think today's the 19th of August 2021. You guys can probably see why we don't do this in summer. It is very hot today. So Zach carries all our water and rations for the day. I've got my harness ropes rigging, all the camera batteries, and I think all in total that's just a touch under 15 kilos. But we're doing well. This may be one of our last explores for the year, just because I get really tied up with my full-time job. I'm not out hiking, and it just is simply too hot. And despite all the dangers of these long treks and roping into mines, I think the biggest danger in about 2 months' time would be the snakes. And even in the area we live in, Hervey Bay, they're already out and about. So up here, for those that don't know, we've got red bellies, we've got browns, we've got eastern taipans, which I think are the worst. Oh, coastal taipans. Zach's a bit of a zoologist. That's actually what he wants to do when he's older. So we're in the state forest today. There's other areas of Mt Perry we'd really love to explore, but unfortunately they are all on private land. But if you're watching this video and you own any land sort of west of the township, out Chinaman Creekway, we'd love to hear from you. We can film these episodes in a way that we don't give away any landmarks, and we of course would never lead any future people onto your property or even pass on your contact details. And what had originally led us to head out to Mt Perry is, on our maps they're showing as abandoned. Now they're the 2 enormous lode mines that are sort of have a, I guess, a northwest or a west strike that actually head from the Mt Perry Township, and they are absolutely enormous. Some of the shafts there are meant to be 400 odd meters, but then confusingly there's still an active mining lease on it, so that is an absolute no-go. So if you're watching this and you got land out here and you don't mind us exploring, we're all on foot, no dirt bikes, no quads, well trained up. We're adventurous but not reckless. We would love to hear from you, so I'll put my email up on the screen. If you've always wondered what was down that mine shaft in your backyard, we can find out for you. Alright, we're closing in, guys. This is the part of the walk we absolutely love. All week long, staying up late at night, studying maps, studying the best way to go in, speaking to people about leads, anyone that's been out this way, and it all leads to this. A lot of excitement when you get towards the end of the trek, or technically the halfway point. So we've got 4 mine workings that we're meant to head to today. 2 are meant to be infilled, 2 are meant to be still pretty open and ready to explore. So fingers crossed. Oh man, this walk just got insane. The open path just turned into some sort of Vietnamese jungle. That was almost impassable. So we've just resorted back to the creek for a bit. But then according to our maps, we unfortunately have to go up there. That looks like about a 45-degree incline. So it was a pretty nice stroll up until that point. We're only about 150 metres away from the first mine, but it looks like it's going to be a very, very tough last bit of the walk. Alright, the walk's turned code black. We are bush bashing now. A lot of people ask why I don't take a machete, but our equipment list is already huge, it's already heavy. That and the fact that I don't trust myself with one. We are closing in on the Captain Osbourne abandoned gold mine. It's like this bush doesn't want us to get there. If it's one thing for sure, there's not many maps for these mines on it. I don't think anyone would have bothered trekking this way for a long time. Oh, I need to catch my breath. See you guys in a sec. Alright, just coming up on our first mine of the day. This one is abandoned gold mine unnamed 620395. And judging by the size of the spoil heap, it's only going to be tiny. Be lucky if there's more than 1 metre or 2 of waste rock. So let's say it's going to be a little pit, and it is. Alright, so this is a warning for anyone that wants to get into this hobby. This is what you got to be prepared to do. So we set off at 7. It's now 11:15. We've only seen a pit in the ground that's 1 metre deep. It's all part of it. This is meant to be the last one of the day, but encouragingly, through the bush, I can see a massive dump, a waste rock pile. And this one's meant to drive down 25 metres deep. All that rock's got to go somewhere. So this is the most western one. And the GoPro's not going to pick it up, but there's a massive igneous dike through the trees there. And I'd say what the miners were looking for would be any faults and fissures in the ground from there that filled with quartz. And let's hope we're onto one of them now. Alright, spewing. Pit in the ground. Pit in the ground, lucky if it's 3-4 metres deep. It's a big one, doesn't look like it used to be a shaft. Because there's probably still not enough of a dump along here. Still a couple of berms on the way down the hill, so just going to keep exploring for a bit before we call this day an absolute bust. What a hike for nothing. Well, that one was an absolute bust, guys. That was a huge hike. That's the way it works sometimes. So I'm sitting on the waste rock pile of the Captain Osbourne Mine that was meant to drive down over 25 metres into the earth, but I think because it's in a national park, it's all been filled in pretty well. You can actually see some of the quartz that they were mining. All that black stuff, it looks like a black mica, but it's all the oxidised sulphides that were in the rock. If that's what their waste rock looks like, I'd say maybe they did hit the vein and got some pretty good stuff. You see some little red, some iron oxides or iron sulfides in there. Said at the start we didn't do this for the geology, but it's definitely one of the more interesting aspects of it as you keep at it. So another pit in the ground there. So I'd say that's a day, guys. Sorry there wasn't some more excitement for you. Can't really say it's a walk back in time when we're just looking at a pit in the ground, but hey, that's what happens. So we're gonna have some lunch, refuel, and then start our massive trek back. All right, we're just following up on another lead before we give up. It's all these little surface trenches the miners would have dug in to follow the vein. So the vein's heading this way, so we'll follow it. Oh, we have a huge spore pile. Could be onto something. What have we got here? That's huge. It's probably 15-20 meters long. Oh, it looks like a pit. Spewing. I'd say that's the old shaft, guys. Look at the volume of earth that's in this spore heap and the size of that pit. It doesn't work out. So normally what they do, especially given this is in state forestry, they'd cap it, which would probably only be a few meters below that. Normally some big heavy gauge timbering or steel. Then what they do, they dig all of the collar out of the shaft to turn it into a pit. And that's how if any animals fall down there, or people, they can get back out. You can see the size of the dump is substantial. Actually, we do have some quarter minus here, so this could be actually the tailings pile. Oh, that's a wrap, guys. We found it. It's filled in, and it was a 6-hour walk for not much at all. That's a wrap, guys. It got really bloody hot. Car's just over the hill. Sorry it was a bust. It's only going to get warmer in Queensland from today on, so that's us done for the year, guys. Today was brutal. I've said that a few times, but it's always pretty tough, but almost ran out of water today. Zach's done awesome as usual. Well done, Z. See you guys around. Well, there we have it, guys. That's episode 19 done and dusted. We've got the outro here showing the little subscribe icon. That might be pushing it after that crap episode. As well as some footage of me absolutely torturing my little Ford Fiesta. We've taken it on some insane trails. So still wanted to air this episode just to show you the efforts we go to get to these abandoned mines. And we hope to really make it up to you next time with an epic explore coming soon. Cheers, guys. Thank you.